Hello, hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Happy self-care sprints. I am glad you are here. If you are checking out the replay, thank you so much. And be sure to let us know in the comments what you got up to while you watch the replay of these self-care sprints. So I have so far today, what did I do today? I had breakfast, I had coffee, I spent some time with my pets, put on some makeup, and kind of got a slow start to the day. I have a lot of things to accomplish today, but I did allow myself that time to slowly start waking up to this Tuesday morning. So let me say hello to everyone. Hello, Swank. I'm glad you're here. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Yes, and it falls on Taco Tuesday too, so that's perfect. Revenge of the 5th. Yes, of course, yesterday was May the 4th be with you. So naturally, today is Revenge of the 5th. Happy Creativity Day. I love that. Happy Teacher Day. Yes, all the love to all the teachers everywhere. Hi, Eleanor. How are you today? A rainy morning. I hope you're finding it cozy and relaxing. Pot of tea. Well, let's see. I looked at it and then I didn't pop it up there. Yeah. Swank is enjoying a pot of tea. I may have some myself when we go on this first sprint. I already have my morning coffee, so I think tea would be a nice addition. And then yesterday, baked homemade oatmeal cookies, and I have some of those left, so I could have those when I have my tea. It will be like second breakfast, as the hobbits say. And some hellos and highs. I love that. All day self care. Oh, well, I'm glad that you're getting out all day self care in, but I don't like the way that you're having to get it. That's not a pleasant way to have to get it, but I'm glad that you are able to build in that time to take care of yourself. I'm distracted now because there's a beautiful male cardinal outside my windows. So it's very beautiful because he's right like on my little garden area, and we kind of have like a makeshift greenhouse over some of the garden. And so he's perched on top of that. And then with the backdrop of the trees, he really stands out, that red with the green. So that's a little moment of self care that the cardinal brought to me today. I love watching birds. I love it. Oh no. Well, that's terrible. It's bad enough when you have a cold, and then it's even worse if you have to get out and go to work. I hope all of you feel a lot better soon. And some more hellos to everyone. Oh, that sounds so good. Mexican street corn dip, guacamole, nice, very nice. Yes, I agree. It is just, I know it's kind of like a joke, like when you get to be an adult, that becomes like a highlight, but I really do love watching the birds. And one talked about this on Saturday Morning Momentum, but if you weren't there, then we have 4 hanging strawberry plants, and a bird has built a nest in one of our strawberry plants. So we're leaving the nest alone, especially because it has eggs in it. So when Tim first found that nest, he said it has 2 eggs. So then I went out and looked, I think it was Saturday or Sunday. And I looked in there and I said, "No, babe." I said, "There are 3 eggs in this nest." And he said, "Really?" So he looked, he said, "Yeah, there are 3." And then I looked at the nest yesterday and there were 4 eggs in it. So this bird is busy laying those eggs. So it's going to be exciting to see the little birds hatching and hear them, and that's just going to be so nice. I'm excited that they found a nice place to, have their nest in our strawberry plants. We have 3 other ones. It's fine, and I would never mess with the bird nest anyway. I do too. They're so pretty, so pretty. And some believe they are, messengers from the other side, or they carry the spirits of our lost loved ones. So that makes them extra special. Hellos and highs. Right? Yeah. This bird is very, very prolific. She's quite a busy bird out there. So I can't wait, like I said, to see them hatching and, get to watch them grow up. It's a lot of fun. So I kind of have started this tradition for us of reading a poem during our self-care sprints. So I thought I would read one today about Artemis, the goddess of the wild hunt. She's the twin sister of Apollo, who is the bright, shining god. He's associated with the sun, and Artemis is associated with the moon. And since we just had a full flower moon occurring on the same day as Beltane, I thought it would be quite fitting to read a poem about Artemis and the moon. So this is from Great Goddesses, Life Lessons from Myths and Monsters, and this is from poet Nikita Gill. So I'll read this poem. The moon writes a love letter to Artemis. I choose you, the rarest of beings, for the belonging I never had with your Aunt Selene. She was meant to be my mother, my food giver, but I found her too little in love with me and more in love with watching love. But you, dear Artemis, you with the wings that you made from your own silver-tipped wishes, how you always just took what you wanted. I watched you become midwife to your mother at birth and help bring your twin into this world. This is what I wanted to belong to. The dark saplings of unmanageable wilderness that run through your veins, mixing with the gold of ichor. This is how you flick your wrist and bend whole forests to your will. The brow that holds a scar from the first fray you won against your brother, and gold-eyed like the wolves who sing to me every night. How could I ever resist falling in love with you? So I took myself from the arms of all my lovers and gave myself to you. Tell me, Artemis, do you love me too? Perhaps you do. Why else, when your father sat you on his throne as an untamable girl child and asked you what you wanted, you told him, give me the moon. And there's also an illustration. I don't know how well it'll show up on camera, but that is a love letter to Artemis from the moon. Hi, Molly. How are you today? It's nice to have you here. And some more hellos and highs. So I would love to know now what you have gotten up to this past week. So let me put that banner up there, and let's talk about some self-care practices that we did last week. So I did lab works as part of my self-care, right? Taking care of those doctor's appointments and things like that. And then tomorrow I go to see my doctor to find out, it's just a check-in, that annual check-in. And it was just routine lab work. So I'll find out if it showed anything, talk about whatever else might be going on. And then Friday, I have my annual OBGYN appointment. So doctor's appointments, they've been a part of my self-care the past couple of weeks. Last week, I also took time to enjoy my days and part of nights outdoors before it gets too hot where I live. The summer is really unbearable here. You can't really be outside. So I've been spending time outside, taking walks. I have allowed myself a day last week just to rest and recover from visiting my mom. It's always difficult the first couple of days after getting back from the trip. I mean, it's difficult all the time. And it's difficult to go and see her in the condition she's in now. But something always hits me very hard when I get back home from a visit. So I allowed myself last Monday. I did kind of the old school April. One of the prompts that was to treat yourself like you did when you were sick as a kid. So have like a sick day where you do those things that brought you comfort as a kid. So that's what I did this past Monday. I've done some other things throughout. I went to lunch with a friend. So I've been diligent about practicing self-care. Yesterday, I had a lot of writing to do, but I still took time to go take a 20-minute walk, at least get outside and do that. So those are some things that I have done. And there have been other things, but I don't want to go on forever. But let me know what you did this past week or over the weekend to practice some self-care. Yes, I do too. I teach a couple of mythology classes to high school students, and I do now have a Substack. I finally got my Substack going. And so there, at this point, it's all I've posted are maybe 3 or 4 notes and then one long form article that went up yesterday. So I do have options for both free subscriptions and then paid subscriptions. So part of the paid subscription services that I'm going to offer will be some courses on literature courses and some mythology courses, stuff like that. So I am looking forward to both, the writing for everyone and then the courses and some other services for those who are able to pay. And I don't want anybody ever to feel pressure to pay anything. So if you can just subscribe for free, that's wonderful and that's amazing. And I appreciate that very much. I understand my finances, as probably most of us are tight right now. So it's just it's a struggle for sure. Yes, I love it. Walking outside and then audiobooks. I find that having an audiobook or a good podcast always helps me to get through whatever chores I have to do. And I have to shout out Eleanor. She talked a little while back. I don't remember I think it was Saturday Morning Momentum, but she was talking about listening to a podcast. And I asked her, I said, "Oh, what podcast are you listening to?" And she said, Ghouls Night In. And I started listening to that podcast and I love it. So you have these 2 women, Penny, Penny something and Midge, Penny and Midge. They have really funny names like Midge Munster maybe. And Eleanor, you can help me. I can't remember Penny's full name, but they talk about eccentric and sometimes spooky, weird, goth stuff. It's kind of for all of us weird nerd folks, but it is a really fun podcast and you never know what they're going to talk about. And because I was new to the podcast, I have been listening to their backlog too. They've got great stuff. I listened to an episode where they talked about The Exorcist, and then I've listened to an episode where they talk about, goth butterflies, also known as moths. In the most recent episode that just came out today, they talked about Victorian parlor games. They've talked about Mary Shelley. Just such a wide variety of topics that I think a lot of you would be interested in. So it's such a great podcast. So thank you, Eleanor. So let me check these comments now. Yes, I understand that. That I think too, as we get older, that brain fog, oh my gosh, it just about wipes me out some days. And there are days where I cannot write anything, because I can't even remember what I walked into rooms for, or what I had planned for dinner. Even if there's a menu on the refrigerator and I know I wrote it, and then I have to look at it and be like, that's what I said we were having for dinner. So, oh my gosh, yeah. And then your cold, I'm sure, is just making that even worse. Yeah. Yes, wonderful. The sun, yeah, birds, squirrels. We have a lot of squirrels around here too. So it's been just it's so peaceful. It's like I go out early in the morning because I have to get rental on the bus, and it's 5:45. But the chorus of birds is already going, and it just makes me so happy to hear that. Yes, I do too. Very much. It's so much fun. Like I know the most about Greek, Roman, Norse, and Celtic mythology, but I do have a book on Native American mythology, Egyptian mythology, because I do want to branch out, and have experience with other cultures and their myths too, because I don't know enough about them right now. That's it. Penny Snark and Midge Munster. Thank you. It is such a fun podcast. I'll put the link to the podcast when we go on sprints. And it's called Ghouls Night In, but I'll link that. And I will also link my Substack link, but don't feel any pressure to subscribe if you're not interested. That's fine. I understand. Believe me. There's a lot of things going on in life right now, and maybe you don't want to add one more, thing that you have to attend to or read. So I think we are at the end of the comments. And so I'll make sure not to forget. We'll go ahead and do our sprint. And the first thing I'll do will be put up that link to the podcast and then my Substack. So we're about 20 minutes after 9. So we'll say we'll come back at 5 after the next hour. No apology, Swank. I said no, nobody ever feel guilty or any problems. Yeah, at all. Never, never. So hello. How did everybody do during that sprint? I ate some of my oatmeal cookies and now I have my second cup of tea. And I have been sitting here doing some writing while drinking my tea. So let's get back to the comments now. Let's check to see what everybody got up to. So there I was giving you all the link to Ghouls Night In on Spotify. I think a lot of you would enjoy that. It's got, like I said, like uniquely spooky, gothic, eccentric, weird stuff that I think a lot of you would like. And there's such a variety of different topics that they cover, and both Midge and Penny are very likable podcast hosts. And that's my link to Substack in case anybody is interested in reading my work there. And then we had Umesh come in. So let's say hello to Umesh. If I can get that up, I was trying to put it up and my scrolling it and going the way I want it to. Good evening or good morning where I am. Good evening to you. And I was just checking to see how Umesh is doing today. Morning pages, very nice. You have been so consistent with your morning pages, Swank. That is very admirable. Oh, nice way to practice self-care. Love that. Yeah, I need to do a little bit of digital decluttering, which is one of our focuses for May. That Lee from Saturday Morning Momentum, she gives us 3 things to focus on each month, and one of them is about like digital decluttering, and I think it's mainly tied to email this month, but I feel like you could, you know, work on whatever you need to work on. And some more hellos and highs. Hi, Elaine. Thank you so much for popping in to hit the like button. I was writing yesterday, so I didn't get to catch your live discussion about the artist way. So I'm hoping to catch that later today or tomorrow. And some more hellos and highs. So Stina's not here today, but I have to also talk her up because Stina from Skeleton Key Books mentioned and recommended Dryad tea. So that's what I'm drinking. This is the Come to the Labyrinth flavor, which has apples and cinnamon and other spices. It's like apple pie. And when you add honey to it, it's especially good. So I recommend Dryad teas. I'll try to put them in the link to when we go on our next sprint so that you can check their teas out if you would like. And some more hellos and highs. Very nice. I'm glad to see that you're doing fine. Yeah, it's hectic, and I've put some extra stuff on my plate. It's all every one of them is things I am excited about, but I've already got a lot going on, and now I've given myself more to do, but that will be okay. I'll take care of myself, practice what I preach, right, about self-care, and I will manage my time, and it's all gonna go well. Yeah, I had my coffee this morning, and now I'm on the tea, and then this afternoon I'll be back on that coffee again. Very nice, very good self-care, showering. Why do I have a hard time saying that word? Showering, dressing, skincare. Yes. Wonderful. I love to hear what everybody's doing to practice their self-care today. So we have come to the end of our comments. So let me look at our time. 10:10, perfect. So we'll come back at 55 after the hour, and I will see you all after you get in 45 more minutes of self-care. Hello, everyone. I am back. A little bit distracted by Frere, so I think I'm a minute or two late, but he is in my lap now, so he's a good distraction, though. He's always a big part of my self care. I can move him up if he'll cooperate to say hi. Frere, can I say hi? Huh? This is my buddy. My buddy. So, what did everyone get up to? I did some more writing and drank a little bit more tea and mostly just hung out with Frere, my sweet, sweet self care cat, who is now climbing up on a stack of books beside the laptop. So, if you hear a sudden crash, it's just Frere crashing and making a disaster, but being very cute while he does it. So let's check the comment section. So Elaine was headed off for today. So big hugs back to Elaine. And Swank is doing laundry, never ending story, right? And I was thanking Elaine for stopping by and saying, yep, Swank, I did laundry yesterday. I did 2 loads of clothes, a load of sheets, a load of blankets, and towels. So I tried to knock it all out yesterday. Now, granted, I'll probably do laundry again tomorrow, or if not tomorrow, the next day, because really it is just like that constant thing that you have to do if you wear clothes, which I assume most of us here wear clothes. But if you don't, great, then you don't have to worry about laundry. And that's that link to Dryad Tea. And the Poisoner's Cabinet, a cocktail at the start of each episode. I love that. I like that title, and I like the idea of the cocktail. Perfect. And speaking of laundry, Elaine's got laundry going too. Hello, Susan. How are you today? It's good to see you here. Let us know what you are getting up to for self care. I'm so glad that you could stop by today, and I hope that you are practicing your self care. If not, then I will encourage you to do so, even if it's something as simple as reading or drinking a little tea or coffee or whatever it is you like to drink, stepping outside to breathe in some fresh air, whatever you may find comforting. So, Frere is booping my hands, trying to get all the attention. So, it is about 11. So, we will go on our last sprint. Well, for me, it's about 11. For you, it's about to come up on whatever the hour is next. And let's see. The Bat Familiar. Oh, love it. I love that. Perfect. Yes, love it. Bat familiars. Yeah, I have cat familiars and a dog familiar. I'd love to have an actual bat though. I think they're so cute. What a perfectly gothic pet too. So I will go ahead and if Frere doesn't knock over my lamp, go ahead and put our banner up for coming back at 45 after whatever the hour is for you. Frere, I got to mark this ticker. You got to quit booping my hands, okay? Got to quit booping it. Don't boop it. Okay, so I will see you all in about 45 minutes. Hello, hello. What did everybody get up to during those 45 minutes? It went by pretty quickly for me. I was still doing some writing. So maybe not exactly self-care sprints for me as much today. Although I did get my tea and my oatmeal cookies, but yeah, a lot of writing today. But that means I won't have as much to do over the next few days, which is good because I'll be out of um out of my house at the doctor tomorrow because those of you who know me know I live in a more rural area, so my doctor's offices are like 40 to 45 minutes away from here. So when I go to the doctor, I pretty much just make a day of it. So tomorrow and Friday, that's what I'll be doing. So let me see what everybody else got up to during that time. And Susan said she is listening to Brighter Than Before by Courtney Walsh and some hellos and highs. And then I told Susan, I like that title, Brighter Than Before. Sounds positive. And so Swain finished with some study books and read some more in Parable of the Sower. How are you liking it, Swank? Those of you who don't know, I do run the Literary Love Book Club, and our May book is Parable of the Sower by Octavia E. Butler. And the live show will be like the second weekend in June. So that's how I do my book clubs. We'll have a book for every other month, but then it's the following month when we do the live show. So for May, we do the live show in June. And then July's book, we do the live show in August. So that way it gives people plenty of time and you don't have to finish like right at the end of the month. You can go a little bit into the following month. So I think it helps people, including myself, get the books read on time. And I don't know, Swank, we were kind of in and out quick with the chatty bits just then. So that might have been it. So more questions about Parable of the Sower. Wonderful, Susan. Well, since you have it, I hope you can join us for the Literary Love Book Club. And I do have a Discord, but you don't have to be on my Discord to participate in the book club. You can just read the book, and then we'll have our live show. Like I said, they're typically the second weekend of the following month, so it should be the second weekend in June. And when I get that exact time, I'll go ahead and set up the live show for that so you can all prepare. Well, you're welcome, Molly. Thank you for stopping by. I'm glad you were able to practice some self care on this Tuesday. Oh, nice. Yeah, yoga, that's a definite a good way, definitely a good way to practice self-care. I am very hit and miss with yoga. I used to do it on a regular basis. Now I just do it when I think about it, which would be beneficial for me to get back to doing it regularly for sure. Thank you, Susan. Thank you for being here. And look at you, finished a book, wrote a review. Nice. Now you don't have that to have to worry about anymore. Yeah, that's what I've heard. I have not read Parable of the Sower yet. It's been in my TBR cart for years and years and years, and everybody had always said to me, you've read The Handmaid's Tale. Now you need to read Parable of the Sower. So I know is going to be a heavy read because I do know the premise. So certainly hitting close to home right now. But I think that's also going to provide a lot of insight for us for our discussion to have a really good discussion. Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm sure I would love to see that graphic novel. Thank you. Thank you for being here, Eleanor. Thank you so much. So let me hide that. And just an encouragement as we go off. let's kind of think about what is one act of self-care we can fit into each day. So we have gotten this day some self-care already. So just think about what you can do even on a small scale. Like I said earlier, if you just step outside, take a few deep breaths, that's self-care. If you rest for a little while, that's self-care. When you eat your meal, drink your tea, drink your coffee, make your doctor's appointments, do your yoga, all of those things. There are so many different ways that we practice self care. And we need to make sure that we are practicing it, because if not, then we'll get discouraged mentally and we'll be worn out physically too. I have found so many times when I allow myself a day off, even if it's not a whole day, maybe it's a half day or a couple of hours, but I have found that when I do go back into work that I need to do, that I am much more, I hate to use the word productive. I've used it so much and it's just a common thing, but my therapist told me productive has to do with how much output a business puts out, or like a factory or something. She said, don't try to make yourself be productive. So there's other words we can use, but I feel like I typically fall back on productive because that's just kind of the mindset. But you know what I'm saying, as far as like getting rest and giving yourself time to rest, then your brain feels like you can be more active and you can get more accomplished. It will be in July. So we're going to do quarterly tea parties. So we did a spring tea party. So our summer tea party will be in July. So I need to get that on the calendar too. It will be on a Saturday or Sunday, probably a Sunday. And then our fall tea will be in October, and our winter tea will be in January. And then our next spring tea will be in April again. So I do plan to do those quarterly. And as soon as I have squared away stuff on my calendar, I will get both the live show for Parable of the Sower up and then the tea party for July. Thank you, Swain. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you so much. And yes, Saturday Morning Momentum on Saturdays, Kat's channel at Kat's Novel Adventures, 8 o'clock Central Time on Saturday mornings. Get in, do a little chat, go away for an hour and be active and working on things you need to work on. And then you get to come back and chat. And it's just a really encouraging space that helps us all meet our goals. And if we don't meet our goals, then we offer suggestions for each other or just encourage each other and say, it's okay, you didn't accomplish XYZ this week, but you had other things going. So it's a great, great encouraging space. Hydrate, absolutely. Drink your water, drink your tea, drink your coffee, which I know coffee and maybe tea's, I'm sure tea's better at hydrating than coffee, but yeah, drink your water. So thank you everybody so much. I appreciate everybody that is here attending now, and anybody who watches the replay. So I'm going to just pop that in real quick in the chat and just thank everybody. And I look forward to seeing you all next Tuesday or Saturday for some of you. And remember to take care of yourself. You are worthy of love. Thank you, everybody. And I will see you in a little while next Saturday or Tuesday. Bye.